Hey there, comic book fans. This is going to be a contest entry to Liking the Covers 1 year anniversary contest. And he wanted us to show some covers with couples on them. I had a hard time thinking about what I should do for this, and then I remembered early 70s Marvel romance comics. I don't know how many of you know about these, but they're quite entertaining. This is kind of the last gasp of romance comics. And Marvel, I think they had a couple of them out in the early 70s, often with some nice stuff in them in terms of art by John Romita, Gene Colan, John Buscema, and some reprints from the 50s stuff in the back. And the stories were often as corny as you can imagine. Matter of fact, I'm saving one story for the end just to open up and show you. It's only a short 5-pager, but I'll give you a little tease. In 1970, Stan Lee takes on feminism and romance. Hijinks ensue. But anyway, here's the first of them. My Love Number 5. Now here's a couple for you. He's the only boy I'll ever love, but how can I tell my father? What I find interesting about this one, too, is the lettering. This isn't your normal Marvel Comics hand lettering on the front. I'm not exactly sure who did it or how it was made, because this almost looks like a press-on font of some kind, but I'm not even sure. The rest of it looks like hand, but very, very much fancier hand lettering than is normal on Marvel Comics. But nothing like a story of the guy's too much of a long-haired hippie for your parents to love. Well, there's the first one. And here we go with My Love Number 11, Tales of Love That Could Be Yours. Heartbreak and drama as the camera keeps turning. He's angry. Does that mean he really loves me? Or, oh, the worries of... And check out this movie. What kind of insane outfit is he wearing? And this one is drawn by Don Heck. Let me give you a quick open to the... I never thought much of Don Heck as a superhero artist, but he was a pretty good romance artist back in the day, and even in the early 70s. He could draw pretty women, pretty men, and fashions, even if his fashions were insane sometimes. But there you go. My Love Number 11. I used to pick these up years ago for a couple of bucks. Back when I used to do some back issue hunting, which I haven't done in a decade. But these used to be fairly cheap when you found them. I don't know if they are anymore. I've heard they've gone up in price, but check some out if you can get them. And next we have My Love Number 17, another great couple. Look, they argue, they kiss, they have tears as she runs away from him. What happened to me was shocking and unexpected because I was the girl who would stop at nothing when a love story ends. I don't recognize that signature at all. A.W. Al Williamson, but that's not Al Williamson. That's the only A.W. that comes to mind. But I also have to show you these brilliant... it's credited to... as told to Stan Lee. So Stan wasn't writing these. You know, he was being told stories by, actual real-life women and couples who were telling them their love stories. Sure. Theater starring... Maybe Singing in the Rain is playing back there. Anyway, there's another great couples cover as the drama and romance of a single couple. My Love Number 17. And here we go, My Love Number 18. Now who's the couple here? Is it the couple getting married? Or is it her? He could have been mine. He should have been mine. He should. Can anything be more dangerous to a girl than love on the rebound? How do you not love these? I mean, they're just beautiful. Let's take a quick glance and see who drew this one. Look at that. Stan Lee, Sal Buscema, Joe Sinnott. They got some real talent doing these romance comics. But anyway, I say if you can track these down, get them, because they're worth it for the covers alone. And we continue on with another couple. This couple gets their own corner box too, it looks like. No, no, stay away. Let me go. Can't you see it's too late? Haven't I suffered enough? Why must my tortured heart cry? I can't love anyone. That's brilliant. How do you come up with this stuff? Oh, this is also, I forgot to point out, this is one of the Marvel 10th anniversary covers. You can tell there was a period there in like 71, 72 when all their covers were in a box, like they had this box design. And I asked John Romita once, and he told me they did that for the 10th anniversary of something. He couldn't quite remember what. I asked him this, 20 years later in the early 90s. And I figured it had to be the 10th anniversary of Spider-Man or Fantastic Four, the beginning of Marvel. So that's why all their covers were in a box for a year. But I always thought there was always some nice designs in this age and this time with the covers in the box, even though a lot of people hated them. I like them. But there it is, My Love number 19. And here we go with another Marvel 10th anniversary cover, My Love number 20. Oh, Tom, I know we're engaged, but when I'm with Dirk, I don't care. What do you do when your man is never around to hold you? Answer me that one, ladies. I guess someone told Stan Lee what to do because someone told him. Let's see, did Stan write this one? Oops, I don't see any credits on that page. Some of these were actually written by other people than Stan Lee, too. There's a couple of women's names who I've never heard in the credits. I've never read in the credits before, but this... so once again, who is the couple? Is it Tom and this nameless woman, or Dirk and this nameless woman? Only the story can answer that. And next we have a different series, Our Love Story, number 27, Tales of Romance taken from real life. No, Eric, we mustn't meet. Not ever again. I'm in love with another man. I really don't know what this woman is behind them. It's like she's just walking by, gawking, going, get a room, you two. A fool about love. Well, this is interesting because this has got, first of all, I don't know what, it's like someone drew, maybe that's a date, 11/1. I don't know. Weird place to put a date, and they made it awfully small. But this is Gene Colan and Bill Everett artwork. You don't see that a whole lot. I know they worked together a few times, but, you got some interesting art combinations in these Marvel 70s romance comics. And there's a nice panel. Look at that guy. Nice Gene Colan drawing. But there you go. Our Love Story, number 27. And here you go. Here's the one you must track down at all costs. My Love number 10. Love and romance in the new lifestyle. Female freedom. I must leave you, darling, because no man is my master. And I have to say, this is probably the worst of the covers. I'm not sure who did this one, but she's just kind of floating there on the... They have these women just kind of end. It's like they didn't feel like drawing the rest of... Look at that woman's hair just ends. Up here we got the shapeless background. There's this woman just kind of floating there, not even sitting on a chair. What a strange, strange cover. But inside is where the real brilliance is. We're going to have to open this one up and show it to you. As narrated to Stan Lee. I had to know, can a girl find happiness when she was a boy who thinks she's the weaker sex? He orders for, I'll order for her. I know what she'd like. And tell the chef that it better be good. So it's about this woman who's got a boyfriend who orders her around. And she grows tired of it. But I don't like roast duckling, Nick. Forget it, home. We're time for the main event at the garden. There we go. You didn't bother taking me in, Nick. Relax, dream stuff. Since when has it been a bother being arm in arm with you? Here's a... Well, anyway, chicks are weak little creatures, but they're soft and cuddly and beautiful, and that's the way I like it. Oh, Nick, where's his, Oh, here's the line. Nick, do you treat all the girls as though they're just weak little creatures to be bent to your will? It's hard to say, sweetie. Though I hate to admit it, I don't know all girls. Only a couple of hundred or so. Yeah, but of course then she discovers feminism and equal rights, and I've been a fool. I'm through letting boys like Nick Howard put me down. So then she finds some other dates. She blows off Nick, finds some other dates, but let me think a moment. Now she has to think for herself. Where would you like to go, Bev? Any place you say. I really don't care, Harold, just as long as we get out of this freezing corner. One thing about Nick, he'd never leave me shivering like this. Is this really what I wanted? Boys who can't even make a decision by themselves? Bev, would you like to see a movie? Or maybe rather go bowl or have a pizza? We can't keep driving around waiting for you to make up your mind. Maybe we just better go home. So without Nick to tell her what to do, she's lost. All these wimpy guys don't tell her what to do until... Beverly Dalton, you've been a king-sized featherbrain. I misunderstood the whole thing. I had it all wrong. Female freedom isn't about dates or romance. It's about job equality and things like that. So she dashes out to find her man Nick again. Okay, gorgeous. Did you get whatever was bugging you out of your system? How did you know there was anything? I can tell. It's not hard to tell when you love a chick. Are you saying you love me? Are you trying to say you love me? I'm not trying, baby. I'm saying it loud and clear. Me, Tarzan, you, Jane. And that's the way it was meant to be. Dun, 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 the end. See, she likes being bossed around by her man, and that's okay. You can be a feminist and a weakling who likes to be bossed around by her man. They're not mutually exclusive. By the way, if you're looking for good marriage vows, you Tarzan, me Tarzan, you Jane, and that's the way it was meant to be, is perfect. I'd say this is just my favorite issue of My Love, where you can learn all about feminism and romance from Stan Lee. It's just a beautiful thing. Right on. It's time for us to stop letting men dominate us. The time has come to assert ourselves. We must be equal to men, equal in every way. Right on. Except in romance. You do not have to be equal in romance. He can order you the roast duckling, even if you don't like roast duckling, and that's just fine. Okay, those were my couples covers for Liking the Covers contest, 1-year contest entry. You should go check out his channel if you never have. He likes the covers of and likes to show them off. And one more behind-the-scenes stories about these Marvel romance comics. If you're interested in them, you better go try and track down the originals, because I don't think they'll ever be repeated. There was one time in the early 2000s, I was working in the Marvel offices, walking down the halls, and I happened to come across an intern who had a paper, one of those big guillotine paper cutters where you bring the arm down to cut the paper. And he was cutting up a whole bunch of stats and negatives. And stats are kind of like archival photocopies. They're what, before the digital age, companies used them, like Marvel would make a photostat of the original artwork to keep around in case they wanted to reprint something, or else they'd have the negative for it, which is a film negative they could print from too. And he had a bunch of old romance comic stats of the artwork from, I think it was mostly from the 50s. It was probably some of the 70s stuff too, but I didn't see any of it. And he was just chopping them up with a paper cutter. And I was like, what the heck are you doing? I mean, doesn't Marvel need that? He's like, yeah, they told me that to destroy all this stuff because Bill Jemas and Ike Perlmutter had decided that Marvel's romance comics stuff was too embarrassing, and they never wanted to reprint it, so they just pulled it all out, all the stats and negatives out of the warehouse where they kept them without scanning them in or doing anything like that, which they were doing for some old stuff, and just destroyed them. So don't expect to see these reprinted anytime, because Marvel destroyed all the stuff they would need to reprint them. But anyway, check out Liking the Covers channel and enjoy yourself some couples covers.